Okay, I got 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the February 9th, 2021 meeting of the Columbiana Planning Commission. Dan, if you would have an invocation for us, please.
Lord, we ask your blessing on our community and on our world this time. Be with our leaders as they guide us and as they make decisions to keep our citizens safe. Give them the wisdom and knowledge they need during this time. In your name we pray. Amen.
Okay, I'll lead the pledge. I'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice and liberty for all. Dan, could you give us a roll call, please?
Ted,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Bryce,
Here.
Tucker,
Here.
Rick,
Here.
Mark,
Here.
Okay, you've all received a copy of the minutes of the January 12th meeting. Is there any corrections or additions to those? Hearing none, they will stand as presented. There is no old business, so we'll move right into new business. Item A in new business is a site plan review for Liam Bentley Albridge. Seeks the planning commission's approval to open a photography video studio at 139 Town Center Avenue. Is he with us tonight?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Maybe you want to give us a little insight of what you want to do and.
Yeah, sure. So I am a photographer and videographer. I specialize in weddings. I average about 45 to 50 weddings a year. I also do anything from lifestyle photography, family photos. I also do a lot of commercial work. So I do a lot of real estate. And then I'm also a licensed drone pilot. So I do aerial work for construction and roofing companies, as well as real estate. And then I actually have 2 classic cars I rent out for wedding days as a prop to other photographers, as well as I'll drive the bride and groom from their ceremony to the reception. And then kind of just specialize in anything in the photography and video realm.
Okay, anybody on the board have any questions?
No, so you're going to take an existing spot out there then?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything in that location or was currently in that location?
There was a boutique that was in there.
Okay.
It's right next to Orange Leaf and Homestead.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically that space, the front space is going to be somewhere that I can meet with my couples, as well as have a photography studio in there that people can come in and get their photos taken. But then mostly just specialize in it's something that I can meet with my couples and then offer different services within that space.
Okay. And how long have you been in business?
3.5 years.
Okay.
Liam, are you local or are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Campfield.
Okay, cool.
And what made you choose Columbiana?
So I've always kind of I've been looking around. I shoot a lot at the vineyards at Pine Lake and the Lake Club. And I've always been the Homestead is one of my favorite restaurants. So I'm always in that plaza and kind of love the area and the feel of that plaza itself.
Okay.
Good.
Well, I motion to approve as submitted, unless anyone else has any other comments.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Dan, please.
Ted,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bryce,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good luck to you,
Good
Liam.
luck to you.
Good luck.
Thank
to
you.
Second item, item B, we have a site plan review for Salem Regional Medical Center. Seeks the planning commission's approval to build a medical office building at 400 Town Center Avenue. Do they have a representative with us? Uh, What do we do here? Do we table this or?
Yeah, I think you should, I think you ought to put it at the end and we can table it at the end. If they
Okay.
don't,
Okay, we'll hold on to that till later, and if they're not here by the end of the meeting, we'll table it. Okay, the third item, a preliminary site plan review. John Oliver seeks the planning commission's consideration to move forward with plans to change the zoning to build single-family homes on the property that is for sale on East Park Avenue. The property is zoned C4 and owned by Vernon L. Wonger. Is located behind 735 Springfield Road, formerly Columbiana Floral. I saw John, he's here with us.
Here.
So John, I understand you want to build some houses on that piece of property.
Yeah, we'd like to do some single family on there. I sent you the little plot map that I made up. It'd be 6 lots, about 86 feet wide, 250 feet deep. Just try to do something like we did there on West Southern Avenue. Single family homes, 2 to 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,500 square foot to 1,800 square foot. We'd probably be speccing the first home for sure, maybe even more after that, depending on how it goes. And Vernon, you know, he's going to be backing me on all that.
Okay.
So is there sidewalks to be connected out there?
There is
guys
no
put up-
sidewalk over there.
Are we gonna require them to put any sidewalks in? Cause are you getting close, you're kind of getting close to the park, aren't you?
Yeah, it's real close to the park. I had planned on putting sidewalks all the way across the front.
Okay, John, so you plan on putting the sidewalks across the front of the development then?
Yeah,
Okay. That was,
yeah, there'd be city sidewalk.
yep.
Well, John, if business is anything like it's been the last 12 to 24 months, you probably wouldn't have to worry about speccing anything. You might have, if the demand's the way it has been, you should be able to sell them out pretty quickly. Do you agree?
I would think so. I think it's a great location and people would probably hop on it pretty quick.
Yep, I agree.
That's
with you.
next to that chiropractic office, correct?
Yes.
Kind of. It's, I don't know if that's in business or not. I don't see a whole lot of people there ever, but it's next to that chiropractic office.
Yeah, he's not in business. He passed away. I'm not
Okay.
sure what's happening with the building.
Okay, so those are some nice empty lots right there, and I think it's a great idea to put residential housing in. I mean, it definitely needs it. So,
Vernon and John, the only ingress would be off of East Park, correct?
Yes. Yeah, the drives would be on East Park.
Okay, thank you.
Are you saying that's currently zone C4?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
So
It
So
would
just
abut,
so planning
it
commission
would abut
understands-
residential on the rear lot line.
so what is it on both sides of it? Commercial on one side?
Be commercial on both sides. If I'm right.
Yeah, there's
I
the
don't think you
assisted
are.
living there on the right and the Vidco on the left.
The property on one side that you're getting close to what was Dr. Smith's office then became Salem, well, now Salem Regional Medical Centers, but it's their building. If I'm correct, this borders that on Springfield if it goes back that far. John, does the property go back that far onto Springfield?
No, we would only be going
Okay.
back like 250 feet. It doesn't
All
go
right,
back
so
that
it's
far.
just basically the depth of it isn't as far back as Springfield Road. So you are on C4 between the doctor's office and the
Parkside.
nursing home, correct?
Yeah.
Parkside.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are two
It
single-family homes.
it abuts residential in the back lot
Yeah.
line, right?
On the back, yeah, there's two
Yeah.
houses back
Yeah,
there.
so it
Yep.
would abut a residential district
Yes.
if we would choose to change it.
Well,
Yes.
what do
It would
we
not
see that
be a-
corridor as? Because so far we're a mixed bag over there. I mean, we're
If you
residential, and then goes to Salem, the big Salem Center that got built. And then it goes to the chiropractor's office, then it's an empty field, then goes to nursing home. But across the street's residential, kind of.
Yeah, there's a few houses across the street also.
So does planning commission want to save that as commercial? Or do they want to mix in residential?
I don't see there's no residential across the street.
Isn't that residential across the street kind of, Ted? There's some houses there, isn't there?
There's some houses, but it's zoned commercial.
Oh, it's all zone, that's a commercial zone down across there.
Right. Starts at the park entrance at Becker's house
Okay,
and runs all the way down to Suzanne's at the intersection.
well,
But it would abut, if we change it to residential, they would abut on the back property line to a residential district.
well, I mean, we're fighting that somewhere else. We let a business, we let commercial in a residential zone. I think it's later on in the meeting or something. The big question is, do we see that as a commercial zone or a residential zone?
I personally think when it was zoned commercial, the city limits didn't go a whole lot further than that area.
Right.
Now the city limits has moved considerably to the east, and that seems to be our prime commercial property out there. Oh,
And Ted, I don't disagree with you. My opinion is 14 is your commercial zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
The park with the massive amount of reinvestments in the park, I think the more people we can put around the park, the better we are in long term and protecting the park. And I may be off base, but my opinion is try to surround the park with as much residential as we can. That's not already built commercial. And I don't want to penalize any commercial people that are already there, but I don't think we promote more commercial being built around the park. Just my opinion.
Makes sense.
well, yeah, we shouldn't change it. If it's commercial property and it's a commercial
Right.
venue,
I
we can't change it, but this is vacant land. I'm not opposed to changing this to residential.
And the thing is, we have to have a general plan and our general concept. We have to have a general philosophy to go forward with.
Right,
okay. And our general philosophy is to surround the park with the massive investments being into the park, surround the park with as many people and residents that can walk to it as possible.
Well, I know that nobody's in favor of spot zoning, and this would
Right,
not
and I
be
agree.
spot zoning. This would be an attached to a residential.
Right.
Gentlemen, something else to keep in mind is we know what was just acquired, the old golf course. Can we presume what might be forthcoming there as requests down the road?
It's a very good question.
And
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a
And
very
so-
good question.
so I too am totally in favor of Tucker's comments to support the park. And you're right, a lot of our commercial focus seems to be a little further east at this time, so.
One question I have, there's currently a home, and it looks like there's a gravel driveway going back to it. What would become of that driveway in that home that's currently there?
So
Question.
that driveway will actually become one of the lots, and that home back there has a right of way and a driveway coming off of Springfield Road also.
Okay.
So Vernon owns. Do you own that house, or that's your son?
My son has the house, and the other house they both have access off of Springfield.
So Vernon, if I may, Peyton's only accesses off of Springfield, correct?
Well, it is right now it is, he can access off of Park, but his main access to my way of thinking is closer to Springfield.
Right, which he
Yes,
would
yes.
use, and he's going to be one of the abutting properties as well.
Correct.
Of course, yeah. Thank you.
And that is residential.
Right.
Any other comments?
How is Whispering Pines zone right now?
Let's see.
I don't have my map.
Looks like part of it's commercial and part of it's residential.
That's correct.
I'm just thinking if we want to implement the strategy that Tucker has laid out, we might want to consider that area as well to change to residential.
You mean
I think
across
we
the
should
street,
change
Rick?
anything until somebody asks us to.
Rick, do you mean the south side of Park?
Well, I was just wondering how we, what our thoughts are on the other side. I didn't know we had to wait until somebody asked, but if that's the
Well,
case.
I don't know that we have to. I just, if it's zone commercial, maybe they want to develop it commercial.
Yeah, so much like on the north side of East Park Avenue, where the golf course is, you've got a section of C4, and then partially, once you get back in there, then it opens up in the R1.
So that the frontage is C4 and then the
Back is residential.
Yes,
okay.
just like it is where we're talking now.
And the developer may want to leave it that way.
Correct, yeah. I mean, there's nothing in front of Planning Commission with regard to that property. So I think it's fair to say nobody knows what the developer or owner wants to do with that.
That's fine with me.
Any other comments?
If none, I'll make a motion that we move forward. That we accept the request and move forward with the variance.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Just for correction purposes, I'm not sure that it's a variance. You're going to be rezoning that tract.
Yeah.
From C4 to residential. So that's technically, you're not granting a variance. You're
Okay.
going to be, basically we're going to go down the path of rezoning that parcel.
And this is kind of the kickoff meeting for that, for them to find
Yes.
out if you guys are interested, and then we'll move forward from there. It'll be a whole process that we'll develop.
Well, the
Similar
question is-
process to another property on Springfield Road.
But how do we want to, the planning commission, how do we want to go to it? Do we want to go to an R1 or you want to go all the way up to an R3?
That's something that, you know, planning commission can make a recommendation, council can accept that recommendation, they can modify that recommendation, but you do definitely, Tucker, you need to give that some thought, what you
Right.
want to rezone it.
Right. Because R1's single and double and duplexes.
Yeah,
And, you know, and thinking about it and the property and the improvements to the park and the proximity of the park, I wouldn't want to move more than R1, honestly. I mean, it's a discussion we need to have, but, to me, that would be I would be happy to see to go from commercial to an R1, but I wouldn't want it to go beyond an R1. Duplexes would be fine, but nothing more than that.
Gentlemen, with Vernon and John's request, they're laying in front of us what they want to do.
Well,
So
I
it would be an
understand.
R1. I agree with you, Tucker. It should be R1 and nothing more.
But
And I
that's
don't
part of,
think we're asking for anything different to be
no,
considered.
I'm having the general discussion, Scott. So
Okay.
when we go to council and they
Hmm.
present this, these are what we're R1 is our limitations.
Right. I see.
That's all I was saying.
And I think that's all you're asking, correct, Vernon and John?
Yes, yep,
You're just wanting 6 singles, right?
yes.
Correct.
If I'm not wrong, it would abut R1. Isn't it?
I believe it does in the back, yes.
Yeah. So we should be consistent with what the property it's going to adjoin.
I agree, Ted. I think you're right.
And I'll just confirm my motion originally and not call it a variance. I'll just call, let's move forward with having it rezoned R1 per their
I'll
request.
second that.
Okay.
So
Dan?
that's worded as a recommendation to council, correct?
Correct. If that's the next
Correct.
step.
Scott,
Yes.
Bryce,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes,
Ted,
Yes. Okay. That passes. I guess the next move is on to council then, right?
That would be correct.
Okay. So you got more work to do, John. All right, next item is a replat. The city of Columbiana will be purchasing part of the adjoining property at the electric garage located at 1331 Wardingley Avenue. The city would like to include it with their existing property, so they would like to replot this.
So I'm here representing the city of Columbiana, Lance Willard, city manager. So a couple years ago, the electric department bought a section of property off of M&E Lumber. And all this is doing is just cleaning up the property. We don't own the back fence line right now. And as you can see on your drawings there's just a little tiny triangle that we would like to get and square up our property. And then that'll allow for better access to that property.
Any questions for Lance? Don't make it easy on him.
At 2 birthday.
So is that a right triangle?
I think it's isosceles.
I have nothing.
Right.
Can I have a motion?
I motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Deanne,
Bryce,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes,
Ted,
yes,
Scott,
Yes.
motion passes. Next item is the site plan review. Eric Offenberger, Executive Director of the Columbiana Area Chamber of Commerce, 333 North Main Street, seeks the Planning Commission's approval to relocate to Don Arthur's My Theater Building at 11 North Main. Eric, give us a little insight. It looks wonderful.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. The Chamber of Commerce, I think probably you all know where it's currently located, in the brick location right down from Circle K there. We are housed in there. We are the main renters there, and then we have some subleasers in that property. The property is owned by Rick Clark, and we are in a lease there until the end of May. If another renter comes along, it is for rent right now, but if another renter comes along, we will be, Rick has said that we are able to get out of that lease earlier. So we thought we'd get this approval now, but we would like to move our offices along with the Columbiana Tourism Bureau, Columbiana Meals on Wheels, and the Fairfield Ruritans, who are all housed in that building right now, to that location closer to the circle. We would like to, the reason we're doing this is we want to achieve a little more traffic and a little more excitement as far as tourism in the town. And so one aspect of this is we would like to start the Columbiana Visitor Center. So a place where folks coming into town or even residents can come and get information, pamphlets, things like that, maps, and perhaps buy a few souvenirs of the town. One of the reasons for this is when we were going through Nicest Place in America, when Reader's Digest came to visit us, they were, Jeremy Greenfield, one of the editors and who wrote the story about us, was looking for souvenirs to take back to his wife, to his coworkers and things like that from Columbiana. He bought souvenirs at Rite Aid because he couldn't find anything else. So one of the reasons we thought we might, stir a little excitement downtown, and with the chamber and tourism, we have a pretty good relationship now going forward, and we're planning a lot of events for downtown and in all of our areas, but promoting that area downtown with a visitor center we thought would be kind of a neat thing. It also will provide, when our offices are open, a public restroom, a much needed public restroom in Main Street. I know right now there's one store on Main Street that lets folks use their restroom and everybody sends them there. So, but it would bring traffic in and help us to kind of create a little stir about the town.
Is there any questions? I have one question about off-street parking.
Well,
Go ahead, Rick.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I think it'll be great for downtown to have them down there.
Yeah, my question is off-street parking. Is there off-street parking available? I mean, where is your employees going to park?
The employees will park back in the theater parking lot. Our landlord would be Don Arthur's that owns the theater, and that parking lot behind there is where we would park. He also owns the property behind, which is theater parking as well. So there's plenty of parking there. It's shared with Subway and gets a little busier around lunchtime, but we're there in the morning and out in the afternoon. So the parking behind the building would be available to us.
Any other questions? I can see you're digging for something, Tuck.
No. You just look up nicest place in America.
Okay.
I move we approve this site plan.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Dan, will you call the roll, please?
Tucker,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes,
Ted,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bryce,
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck, Eric.
I think it'll be nice. Looks like a good plan.
hey, Ted,
Next
did you
item.
see that Mr. Wheeler from Salem Hospital is on with us now, so you can add him to the agenda anytime.
Okay. We'll just do the next one since I started and then
Yeah. That'll be good.
we'll get him
Thank
in
you.
before the zoning code stuff. We have a site plan review. Ken Shealy seeks the plan commission's approval to open an antique car repair business at the C. Tucker Coat Building located at 11 East Salem Street. Ken, you want to give us a little input on what you're going to do there? And
Well, basically what I'd like to do, and I don't know how that got turned around a little bit with the antique car repair facility. It would be mainly for Class 8 trucks and for automobile repair and diagnostics, basically general repair.
okay. So you're not a restoration shop per se.
No, sir.
Okay.
But I would like to do that also.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Well, this property is zone C2. So wouldn't this need to be conditionally permitted?
Let's look.
I believe you're right,
I
Rick.
think so.
I kind of think so.
So, and I'll fill you in a little bit of the information on it. For Ken and I talked. As far, he's going to ask for a conditional use, but C. Tucker Cope has built a new office or a new shop facility and is moving out of Main Street. That facility right there that we've been renting. C. Tucker Cope is moving down to the new facility on Pittsburgh Street March 1st, but we had a continuation of a lease on that property till January 1st of 2021, which is about 10 more months. So my company was looking to sublease it to Kenneth for 10 months while he starts up this business. And then Kenneth understands after the 10 months, which is January 1st, we no longer have a lease of that property, and he'd have to come back for planning commission to get a reapproval on that property and with the new landlord. Ken is basically starting this. He's already had a business in progress, was looking for more of a brick and mortar, and this gave him a 10-month trial period at a location. So if you guys do propose or approve a conditional use, you know that there's a time limit on it. He understands that too.
Yes.
And so this is basically what you do there, Tuck, right?
Yes,
Okay.
but we know we are in non-conformance, and we don't know what the city's always felt about that, but we're moving on and becoming in conformance, and we're just looking to cover our costs for the remainder 10 months. And then this will come back up again, and it'll give Ken a feeling if this business will grow, and he either stays here, comes back with planning commission, or finds another suitable location.
Yes.
Anybody got anything else?
Do you plan on having a lot of vehicles out in the parking lot? Or are you kind of a couple at a time repair shop?
Most of the vehicles will be done by appointment only.
Okay.
Because of the computer diagnostics and because of the area, there really can't be very many vehicles out there. Just to keep everything tidy. Most of them will be inside.
Thank you.
There's does that lot behind the apartment house there, is that included with this? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the property that's out on North Main Street, will it remain looking about the same as it does now? Will you utilize that space as well?
The property behind North Main Street?
No, it affronts North Main Street. Like
Okay,
if you're at Huntington Bank and you look across the street, there's a kind of like an empty parking lot area there. Are
That
you
would-
using,
that would be utilized, yes. But like I said, it's by appointment only, so there wouldn't be very many vehicles that were sitting out there unless they were, within a 10 or, probably a 12-hour period of the customer picking them up.
okay, thank you.
And Ken, what's your?
That's
what's your
kind of why I
special-
asked that question, because there is parking to the side of the building or behind the building off of Salem Street would be the
Okay,
southeast corner back in there. There is parking back in there.
I thought that there was other places in that also.
Yeah.
Just the front of it would, the only thing I'd be utilizing.
Okay.
Ken, what type of repair do you do? I mean, do you do transmission work? Do you do?
Mainly general maintenance, and we specialize in computer
That's a pretty
diagnostics.
broad Range though. That's a pretty broad range. Might be more specific, if you will. Gonna do transmission work? Or you're not gonna do engine replacement and stuff like that, are you?
No engine replacement, no transmission work. It's going to be basically what the dealerships and basically, if you have a severe problem with your car and you try to take it to Pep Boys and they can't figure it out, we're the people that need to repair it.
I think I can speak for all of us, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if there's many auto repair shops in the area, and it's hard to go by one where you don't see anywhere from 5 to 25 cars sitting outside.
Yes.
I'll confirm my concerns, and that is, I don't want to see 20 or 25 cars sitting outside waiting to be repaired or on longevity or not being paid for. That's a lot of our concerns.
That's totally understandable, but the business is not relying on automobile repair. It's relying on Class 8 vehicles. So that's why I said by appointment only.
Right.
When you have a semi or a piece of machinery or something like that, it would be more of a localized repair. So, we work on anything, because I have a mobile business right now and I would like to have that brick and mortar. So basically what we do is we repair anything from front end loaders to small pressure washers to 200 gallon a minute pressure washer pumps. So it would be mainly the bigger Class 8. The automobile, I really don't want to get too far into that, but I do have a tire machine. I do have spin balancers. I do have brake lathes.
Yeah, so Scott, kind of and this was my same concerns that I had with him. I spoke with him at length about it. What we don't want is something else by the tracks in Columbiana. Okay, back there, and I was completely against that. So Kenneth and I just stopped, and he had has a mobile repairs business, and he's looking for a little bit of brick and mortar to see how this works. So he basically working on semis, front end loaders, anything that'd be outside would be waiting to get into the shop. Then they get in the shop, get repaired, then get pulled onto the side of the shop. So you'd only have a few vehicles there at a time, but it's not like what you typically see because these are equipment that have to be used to make money.
Right.
So they come in, they get repaired, and they go back out again. So they don't have this long lead time of people parking and putting junk in the front.
Right.
And the other thing is, he understands that he's on a short stick too. He understands he's only got a certain amount of time. That at 10 months, is if you guys are not satisfied with it, he understands he has no chance of renewing this. with me being being a different landlord besides me and with the city. So I feel that Ken understands what our concerns are. Again, I have financial gain in this, so I really can't vote on it. But I've expressed my concerns to Ken, and he's reassured me that this won't happen.
Cool. Thank you.
I will say that there will be busy times and there will be slow times. So, but like I said, by appointment.
Mhm.
So the parking lot should not be full at any one time.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Under the C2 conditional, and I think I'm looking at number 9, starting with repair garages and specialty establishments, what Ken is looking to do. Does anybody else on the commission have any concerns with meeting that definition?
Is he
under
on
the
C2 or
conditional?
C4, Bryce?
I'm looking at C2.
What do
I
we
thought we
know?
mentioned that it was C2 in the beginning.
My phone died off. I forget what it
It
is.
should be C2, yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be C2, number 9, what Bryce said.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Which would have to be a conditional use, conditional permitted
Yes.
use.
Ted, my primary concern is that that's the main thoroughfare coming into Columbiana. And, if we see what the C2 uses are supposed to be, administrative, business and finance offices and professional offices, it does concern me that we may run into that same problem of having, it just doesn't seem like it fits into the nature of that area as it develops. That's my only concern.
Okay.
I'd like to see them be in business. I think that's great, but it's just a concern that I have.
That would be a concern. And I would also be concerned if I was ever, I will say this. I keep a very tidy ship. But you can't go by that just by me saying that. And I understand that. So, you know, with all the other automobile places that are out there that have 30 different junkers that are sitting outside waiting for their vehicles, this is a little bit different. And I would hope you'd understand that being class 8, it would be by appointment. So although you would have vehicles coming and going and possibly sitting, you know, if someone brings me a semi that they can make $7,500 a week, they're not going to let it sit there for more than a day.
I'm not gonna be happy with you if it's sitting.
Exactly. They want to get it in and get it out so that they can go make their money. It's not like a car. But like I said, you know, I don't want to mislead you, and I would actually do the car aspect also if the business was there. But also I wouldn't allow it to sit there for longer than a period of time.
And you don't do any buy sell,
No,
buy repair sell?
no,
No.
no.
And you understand this is only for 10 months.
Yes.
That was my point. As far as the commission here, we got a pretty good window. It's only a 10-month window. If Ken doesn't do what he says he's gonna do, we can put the bum rush on him.
In
Yes.
short terms, we can call him out.
Yeah.
And again, being conditional, we'll run through all the proper channels as well.
Right. And that, how long is that conditional use? That takes some time, doesn't it, Lance?
Yeah, I mean, it is typically it's a process and then you renew it. I believe it's every 1 or 3 years.
But I mean, just going into this, it has to go to, what do we have to do for the conditional use? It has to go out,
You're
do
going
we
to
have to go out
end
to the
up
public?
needing public, you're gonna end up with notice and you're gonna end up with a public hearing before council can actually approve it. So you can schedule everything. You've got the newspaper notice that you may need to do. So it's, yeah, it is a process.
Okay, so it's gonna take, what, a minimum of 30 days?
I think
Or
it'll
is that-
take longer than that.
Longer than that, okay. Just so
You're
you're aware of
probably-
how long this process takes, Ken.
Yeah, this process could take a couple of months. And Tucker, I believe you understand that pretty well too.
Yeah, I thought it was like 30 to 45 days.
Depending on how council meetings fall.
Right.
But I don't think we ever got a conditional permit use to be up on Main Street.
Well, the last one that you looked at, a conditional zoning certificate, was off of Main and Stanton Avenue.
The hell is that?
Yeah, and it
Sure,
just
you're all
kinda
aware
died.
of what property I'm.
Oh, yeah, that one. But I'm
Yeah.
saying right now, we never got a conditional use permit to be where Cheetucker Cope is currently.
Oh, okay.
Man,
We're not operating underneath the conditional use permit at that location.
No.
And what we're trying to do is I'm stuck with a tough lease, and I'm trying to better the company and get out of a location that we shouldn't be there to begin with. So it is what it is. We'll play by the rules we have to play by.
Any other discussion? So for this to happen, there has to be a conditional use permit. It has to go through the channels. And I want, just so we're aware of that.
Mhm.
That
Okay.
is correct.
Okay. Yeah, anything else? Do I have a motion or on
I would
this
just
issue?
note that it will probably take more like 60 days just because of the notification,
Yeah,
process. We could get a hiccup here or there easily.
Do I have a motion? I'll make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second Ted's motion.
We have a motion and a second. Dan?
So the motion is to start the conditional use process. Is that correct? Is that your motion?
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bryce,
Yes.
Tucker,
Dane.
Good luck, Ken.
Thank you very much.
We'll do G and then we'll get back to the hospital. We have a site plan review. Alicia N. Schwartz seeks the planning commission's approval to open a cosmetic studio at 929 East Park Avenue. Is she with us tonight?
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be speaking for my wife's behalf tonight. She's actually currently training for the permanent makeup.
Okay, that's fine. So give us a little insight on what she wants to do.
Yeah, so Alicia's really interested in helping specifically like women who are just feel more confident with everything. So her primary focus to start with will be permanent makeup for eyebrow tattooing, and through that she also wants to get into like scar cover up and also scalp micropigmentation, and she really wants to aim to help like women feel like more confident, whether that's like just as simple as like making their eyebrows look more full, or if they had like gone through cancer treatment and have like thinning hair, the scalp micropigmentation can help like fill out the hair to make it look more full. And same with women who have like alopecia and everything.
And this is a licensed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, we wanted to go through the city first to go forward with like the next steps.
Okay.
Basically, but she's working on her, because to do permanent makeup you still have to have a tattoo license, even though it is a little bit different. So she's working on the tattoo license currently, but
right.
that will be done, I believe, tomorrow actually. And before the business even gets started, she's going to go do some more training. We're leaving for Florida at the end of this month to get her some more training with eyebrows and everything. But she will be licensed by the end of this month.
Okay. Does the board have any questions or comments?
So where is this exactly at? It's in an existing commercial facility right now?
Correct. So it's on 929 East Park Avenue, which is it's behind the like brick house that's next to the entrance of Whispering Pines. And it's that little like office barn right behind it.
Okay. So that's currently sitting as commercial, correct?
Correct. There's an office in there now.
What office is in there right now?
It's called Eden Resources.
Okay.
Are you going to use the second floor also?
Yeah, so whenever the business opens up, which it won't be opened up until sometime in May, is what we're thinking. But we're gonna have to start with the second floor because it's already established and has everything needed to be a tattoo studio technically. But our goal is to also renovate the first floor to get that situated so that, you know, if cancer, oh, people who have had like cancer treatment, if they're like weak or anything, they're able to like go into the first floor and use it that way.
Okay.
Do you know roughly how many similar facilities are in the area? Is what this would be?
So I don't believe there's any in Columbiana, but there's a studio that opened up in Austin Town recently, which is where Alicia's doing her training, and Gentleman's Tattoo, which is in Boardman area. They also have a permanent makeup artist as well.
Any other questions or comments? Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Dan, if you would, please.
Ed,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bryce,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you all so much.
Okay, we'll go back and to the Salem Region Medical Center. They seek the Planning Commission's approval to build a medical office building at 400 Town Center Avenue. Mr. Wheeler, kind of give us a little input on what the plans are, what you'd like to do.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're excited to continue with our expansion of healthcare services in Columbiana with the addition of a new medical office building. We're looking at a footprint of about 210 feet by 95 and 2 stories. That'll give us about 20,000 square feet per floor. And it would be adjacent to the town center.
Okay. Is there any questions from the board?
So what are you looking to mainly house in this new facility?
Right now, we're in the planning stages. Obviously, an outpatient facility, doctor's offices, potentially medical imaging to expand on what we have located in the town center.
Okay.
We're really excited about continuing in that direction.
So you're basically outgrowing your town center space and need your own standalone.
Yeah, we'll also maintain the town center space as well. So this is an
Okay.
expansion.
And also as the look, are you looking to maintain some of the town center look, or are you going with your own aesthetics?
Yeah, our architects are Wilmot Sands out of Maryland.
Okay.
And we'll be working closely with Mr. Makel
Okay.
to fit the look of the area.
Okay. Good.
Any other questions or comments?
Not really. I mean, it should meet all the zoning requirements and everything like that. I mean, it's exactly what it's made for, and that area is made for. So, I mean,
Perfect fit.
Yep. I approve as submitted unless anyone else has any comments.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Dan, will you call the roll, please?
Scott,
Yes.
Bryce,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes. Sounds great.
Okay, our thanks to the commission.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
The last item, we have proposed zoning code amendment. The City of Columbiana Council seeks the City of Columbiana Planning Commission's approval to proceed with the resolution 21R563, thereby amending section 1270.02, item B of the codified ordinances of the City of Columbiana, Ohio, to include professional offices in an R1 zoned area. Mark, you want to fill us in on basically what's going on?
So, this zoning code amendment has been taking a circuitous, circular route. Basically, Planning Commission made a motion. Council has now certified a resolution and actually amended the resolution as proposed, certified that back to Planning Commission. Planning Commission now has the certified resolution before it. Planning Commission has the right to make changes. If so, then it has to go back to council. If Planning Commission approves it as submitted, this has already been scheduled for a public hearing on March 16th before council. Just so you understand, this is another one of the many procedures that requires a public hearing before council can approve. Council has had one reading. That's where the resolution was read, amended, and sent back to Planning Commission for further consideration before it goes to the public hearing. So that you understand, the amendment was to further define what was meant by a professional office as a conditionally permitted use in an R1 zoned district. I think it's important that everybody understand, which I think Planning Commission does, this is not automatically saying that somebody can open up a professional office in any R1 district in the City of Columbiana. This is saying that if the conditional use permit requirements are met, that it is a conditionally permitted use. The amended resolution defines specifically what professional offices will include. Any questions?
Can we read the resolution one last time?
Sure. Lance, do you have the resolution in front of you?
Yes. So if you want to, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professional offices, which are defined as lawyer, an architect, surveyor, engineer, a planner, a real estate agent, investment counselor, or a chartered accountant. That's the main verbiage that you're looking to change.
And it just used to be what, medical office?
Yes.
What it came, just so you understand, when this motion, so to speak, or idea came to Planning Commission from council as a result of a motion made by council back on October 20th, it was referred to as general offices. The discussion, I believe, at council might have been for the idea of professional offices. So when the now motion, formal motion from Planning Commission came to council, council looked at professional offices and added the definition of what professional offices would be. And I think the concern was general offices, for one thing, you're not going to find a definition for it in our code, and it's pretty wide open. So I think what council said was when they passed a resolution they needed it to be, they wanted it to be professional offices and then actually define, which Lance just did, specifically what professional offices are.
And just to follow up, technically, when you pass this, if you do pass it, then council will formally set that public hearing, in the process next Tuesday. And then by 2 days later, we'll have it in the paper to advertise for that. Because it's a very strict process that we have to stick to.
The city manager and the municipal attorney have looked at the timing of this. I'll correct myself. Council hasn't set the public hearing, but that is, Lance is correct. That's exactly what will happen next Tuesday, assuming that it's passed here this evening.
Well, I can say that I'm happy with the resolution. I'm glad they have some actual good solid restrictions in there, that they defined it more clearly, which was good thinking on whoever's part that was, that general office was left a little bit too open. So I definitely agree with this, and understanding that you have to get, it's a conditional use permit to even fit into this category. So I motion to approve unless there's any more discussion.
Second.
Thank you.
Second.
Deanne, if you would, please.
Bryce,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Commission comments. We have any comments from the commission?
Yeah, I have one comment. I'll keep it short and sweet. A couple months ago, we talked about garages, and there's a minimum square footage allowed on garages. And I know that hasn't been brought up again, but I definitely want to make sure we look further into it. I think there's like 234 square feet was a limitation on a garage.
832.
832. I'm not very good with numbers.
You better
But,
be.
but I just see as the town continues to grow, there's bigger lots, there's larger houses. I think that we need to look at that square footage, maybe do it as a percentage of the square footage of the lot totally. But to me, that seems like a very arbitrary and archaic garage square footage for an outbuilding based on nothing.
I believe when it started out, it was smaller than that.
Right.
And it got pushed to that, which I believe is 24 by 32 is 832. I'm not.
But if you get a guy that buys 5 acres in town, a doctor, and wants to build a house and wants to put a garage in, and he's got 5 acres, why are you going to restrict him to that square footage?
Well, you're not. You should, unless he can build an attached garage as big as he wants.
Well, but see that's to me, that's an archaic number. That, you know what, I understand in a residential property we don't need more than 20% coverage or something like that between house and garage. But I think that is, if a guy goes out and buys 50 acres in town, you can find 50 acres, annex it into town, wants to build a house, and you're going to tell him you can only build 832 square foot of garage. So, I mean, that to me, we haven't come across it much. I'm afraid we're going to start coming across it more often. And I just want to make sure that we're set up to handle it when it comes across, whatever that is. I don't have the answers. I just don't think that number makes sense. That's my only comment.
All right. Any other comments?
I don't normally make comments, but I just want to welcome Salem Regional. It's so awesome, Jerry. We're really glad to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Any public comment? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.
Good night, everybody.
Right on.
Hi, everyone.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Night.